Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 625 of The Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we've got music from two sources. Ryan Evans has his brand new England song, Drag the Flag of England All Around the World. Having a chat with him and hearing that. Plus, we've got music from Grammy Award winner Peter Cater. Of course, you will be no doubt aware of his 70 albums. All the fantastic stuff that he's done writing music for film, TV and stage. And he's got a brand new single out. We'll be taking a listen to that one. On top of that, Konnie Huq joins us for a bit of a chat about Mount Recyclemore, which is on the coast down in the Cornwall district as part of the G7. And this has been put together by musicMagpie, who are promoting us to recycle our e-waste. That's coming up. Also, we'll be finding out about a brand new roller coaster in Orlando at Universal. That's going to be an absolute treat too. Plus, we're talking Burts snacks, and they are partnering with the RNLI, so we'll be having a chat with them all about that. That's coming up on the show this week. Renowned for amazing music and his love of football, Ryan Evans has got a new song under his belt, which is actually going to wow you. He joins me now to say more about it. Hello, sir.
Hello, mate. How you doing? You good?
I'm good, yeah. I trust everything's going well with you.
It's going well, mate, yeah. Family life. Just had a nipper and I, so non-stop. And, yeah, music's going forward as always, so that's good.
Which is brilliant. So, Drag the Flag of England, that's the title. What's in brackets?
All around the world. So, it's got to be all around the world, isn't it?
That's the plan. So, explain a bit more about this one, because I say, you are a footy fan for definite, aren't you?
Yeah, well, last bank holiday, I was doing 3 shows. The last show I ended up playing on a roof. Blew my PA, actually. Blew my speakers, Jason. It was a nightmare. But
not good.
A great show. Loads of people there, loads of support. Socially distanced, obviously, but it was still probably one of the best shows I've played in a long time. Some guy came up to me and said, you know what you want to do? Do you want to write a song for the Euros? Or you want to, play some England songs at one of your gigs when the Euros start? And I thought, I'm not really sure about that, because it's kind of been done all before, and I don't really want to play the same 3 Lions or, what's already been done. So I went away, had a little think, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm a writer. I've always been a songwriter. I'm going to write my own song. I'm going to keep it original, and I'm going to put it out and see what people think. Okay. And there we go.
And here it is. So what's the reaction been like so far?
Pretty good, to be fair. I've had a few people message saying, it's so catchy, and we're going to stick it on before the game. We're going to play it in our gardens and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I guess it's nice that I've finally written a football song and got it out to the people.
Absolutely, and then you can take some responsibility if England progress past the group stages. Fingers crossed they will.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for certainly at least semi-finals. We'd love to see England in the final and playing at Wembley, wouldn't we?
Exactly, mate. Yeah, amazing, wasn't it?
So, what else is going on musically for you at the minute? Because I say you probably have to take a bit of a diversion to manage to get in an England track, because you've got that much going on, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm flat out gigging till the end of the year, so I'm thankful and grateful to be able to still play with the current circumstances. Obviously, people are starting to rebuild their lives, getting back out again slowly. So the gigs are starting to look a bit more better for me. Constantly songwriting and being a dad is amazing.
I mean, the dad thing is taking up quite a bit of time as well, isn't it? I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's non-stop, flat out, but it's worth it, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So
absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Music has to come a second to that one now, but where are you as far as an album, etc. goes?
I think last time we spoke, I think I had about 4 or 5 tracks recorded for the album. I have written loads more songs that I think are going to replace those songs. So, because I'm constantly creating art and constantly writing, I find myself not better in a song, but kind of, I think, those ones will fit together more. So just a few more months of planning. Hopefully I can get back in the studio and then we can get this album out. The Ryan Evans solo album will be coming to your door very soon.
But the way it could easily work, and I see this happening, is you're going to end up recording about 20 songs. You'll release maybe about 14 on an album, and the rest will be B-sides, EPs, and that sort of thing. I wouldn't put that past you.
That's the thing, you can't go wrong with that, and then you've got loads of content to keep bringing to people, and so
it's constantly fresh and really good sound. As you know, I love your work. I'm biased already because I've known you that long, but it is a fantastic sound that you have.
We go back quite a long time, don't we, to be fair?
It's more than a decade, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember you helped. Definitely in the Clocktower days, you were one of the first people to ever really give us any radio play, I think. So thankful for that.
But it is worth it, that's the thing. We'll be taking a listen to the track. Have you done a video for this one yet?
I did a little video, yeah. I did it myself, to be fair. I downloaded a little app on my phone and then went up the old playing fields, got a bit of the goalposting and danced around like I was in a ska band on my own. But yeah, the video's out on Facebook, on my page. It'll be on YouTube later today.
Look for Ryan Evans. Give us all the socials and everything. What's all the details?
Yeah, Facebook, Ryan Evans Official, Instagram, RyanEvans.official, and on Twitter, Ryan Evans Official as well. So
check it out. It's well worth a look. There is an amazing back catalogue. And
remember as well, Jazz, it's coming home.
It is. Fingers crossed. It'd be great to see England doing the thing at Wembley in the final.
That is coffee. It's not Guinness, I promise.
Okay, right, we believe you. I mean, it is still early for that, possibly. I think the football skews all of that, doesn't it? As soon as there's a hint of a match on it, you pretty much have a beer at any time of the day.
My social media is just breakfasts, full Englishes, and pints of lager.
and nappy changing moments, I'm sure, as well. But there you go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's all part of it. Right, so we've got the socials, we've got the song. We're going to enjoy it. If you want to see the back catalogue, there's things like Rye Day all over the place as well, so you can see all of that. But for now, Ryan Evans, as ever, you're a star. Thank you for joining us.
Take care of yourself, mate. We'll speak soon, yeah?
Around
When presented with some of the finest beaches, people are unsure as to where they are. Burts have been doing a bit of research on this, and it turns out we can't always spot which is the UK and which is maybe Hawaii or Australia. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dave McNulty. Good afternoon.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I trust we find you well and enjoying the summer so far.
Well, it's finally arrived, hasn't it? So it's nice. And it's nice to actually be outdoors to be able to enjoy it.
Absolutely. So tell us a bit about this research that you guys down at Burts Snacks have been doing.
Well, we've been doing some research around how many Brits would go into the seaside, plan a trip to the coast this summer, and it transpires 30 million of us are actually planning to make a trip of some form to the seaside this year. And we wanted to look into that to make sure that as we partner with the RNLI, we can help get their message out so that people stay safe when they're on the inland waterways and the coastal waterways of GB. So, yeah, I mean, I think 69% of people actually confuse our beautiful coastline with much warmer climes of Europe and North America, which is delightful, really, because it says a lot about what we've got on offer.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got some beautiful scenery around the coast. I mean, we often head from the Midlands over to Wales, maybe down into something like Western-super-Mare, and those are all fantastic places to go to with some brilliant resources around them. But on top of that, you've got some maybe lesser-known beaches and coves, and that's where you do have to make sure that you're looking after your safety when it comes to being on the beach, because we love nothing more than sitting by some water, enjoying some potato snacks on the beach, but we need to make sure that if we do go out into that water itself, number one, we don't get the crisp sweat. Number two, that we do look after ourselves and behave sensibly.
Well, exactly right. I think it's one of the imperatives really is, I think if you're going to go to it, people often look for secluded beaches, but they may not always be guarded, but have RNLI lifeguards on them. And what we would, advocate to people is if you want to stay enjoying fantastic potato chips, make sure you go to the beaches where you've got the RNLI volunteers, and by the way, 95% of their employees are volunteers. So, make sure you go to the beaches that those guys are on, because they do an absolutely fabulous job for us.
And you need to make sure that you are behaving sensibly, as I say. If you do end up in trouble, you've got to find that urge to splash around, because that will cause you to sink. You want to stay afloat. So keep still, stay afloat, and make sure that you've got a chance of being rescued. If you see somebody in danger, don't put yourself in danger as well going to fetch them. However strong a swimmer you think you are, 999, and speak to the Coast Guard if you're at the coast, or if the inland and it's a waterway, then it's talk to the fire service, and they will make sure that they're doing what is necessary. But equally, throw them a life buoy. If there's something like that there to help them keep afloat, or anything else you can find which will float, that's the best way of dealing with it, isn't it?
Yeah, if you find yourself in the water, the principal thing is not to panic. Turn yourself onto your back, spread your arms and legs, move them gently in the water, but get your breathing under control first. That's the key message. And then make the decision whether you think you can get to shore, to swim to shore, or wait for the lifeguards to come and do what they do best.
Yeah, because if you are floating on your back, you can shout for help as well, attract attention, and get somebody to help you out.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And so you've partnered with the RNLI. It's all part of the ethos of Burts as a chip manufacturer.
This is a new partnership actually for us for the next 2 years at least. And the reason we've partnered with them is we're very much rooted in the southwest. We were born in Kingsbridge back in 1997 in the South Hams in South Devon. We're now based in Plymouth. So the coastline and the great outdoors is part of our DNA as much as it is part of their DNA. So we just think it's a great link up. And 1 in 7 of the people who are going to beaches this year will be in the southwest. I think from the West Midlands, it's something like 15% of that 1 in 7 will be going to southwest beaches. So it's a really, really key message for us to get out. But it's a great charity for us to support. And as I say, they rely so heavily on individual donations. It's nice that we can, do something to work with them to help them out.
That's a serious side. We know you're doing good things for charity. On to the fun stuff. What is your flavour for the summer? What should we be enjoying when it comes to Burts?
Well, you'll see the RNLI on a couple of our packs are sea salt and malt vinegar, both of which are bold and genuinely lovely. If you wanted my crisp of choice, it would be Devon roast beef. I think it's fantastic. But if you want something with a bit more bite and a bit more crunch, you can always go down there and enjoy some of our lobster pack, which is absolutely wonderful. It's a firecracker lobster with chili. It's an amazing flavour. It's lovely.
Are you still doing the whiskey one? Because I love that one.
No, we don't actually. We don't any longer. No.
That was a special edition, and I enjoyed that when it was there.
Yeah. It's a very nice pack.
But keep checking out. Where can we find out more about the work that you're doing and, of course, the RNLI?
Well, you can go to the RNLI website, clearly, and you can go through on the back of our pack. What you will see where the RNLI logo is, we have got a QR code which will take you through to our website, which will talk about the sponsorship with them, and also, more importantly, the Float to Live message that we're trying to help them get out there.
Yeah, and it's all about making sure that we do stay safe, and if we get into trouble, we know what to do. Because a little bit of education can go an absolutely huge, long way to making sure we stay safe.
Yeah, I can't say that highly enough. Throughout the pandemic, awareness of their message has gone down, and we want to make sure that we work with them to get that message right back to where it needs to be. Because they do say in the charity, the best lifeguards are the dry lifeguards, and I think that's a really good message, to resonate with everybody, because we want everybody to be safe at the beaches this summer and eating fantastic Burts potato chips.
But I wholeheartedly agree with both of those, and the potato chips are wonderful. I can vouch for that, even if I'm back onto my standard of sea salt, because that is my my other favourite in your range.
Well, yeah, that's the number one seller in our range. It's fantastic, but do try them all, because they're big, bold flavours, and they've got real crunch.
Well, Dave McNulty from Burts Snacks, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
When I get sent information on the artists I'm going to talk to, it normally says similar to, for fans of, and in the case of Peter Cater, it mentions Kenny G and a load of other great people. However, with 70 albums under his belt and millions of sales, I think everybody else should be aspiring to be Peter Cater. And he joins me now for a chat. Hello, sir.
Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Oh, good with me, and I hope we find you well.
I'm good, thank you.
Tell us a bit more about what's going on at the moment.
What's going on with this album?
Yeah.
Well, it came out just I don't know, like a week or two ago. It's doing very well. It's crossing over on quite a few charts, actually, on the jazz and classical improvisation, new age, jazz fusion even. I mean, so the record is kind of all over the place, but that's not really uncommon for me. I tend to do whatever I feel like doing, and then wherever it lands, it lands. So,
but these things land well. We're talking Grammy Award-winning landing well here, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but again, that's not my intention. My intention, really, I'm very dedicated to my muse. I'm very dedicated to my artistic purity, as they say. So I've been fortunate that my artistic purity has led me to some commercial purity as well.
And I'm sure your record labels have always enjoyed being able to work with you, because I mean it is so much music. I think the starters. I mean 70 albums. That's prolific. I think we have to say.
Yeah, and I'm only 25, so it's amazing.
You see, the thing is, your Wikipedia page claims you're 63, and looking at you, I'd go for the 25. To be fair.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll talk to Wikipedia about that.
Let's sort that one out. But with your music and everything that you've done over these 25 years, what drives you these days? I mean, so you enjoy doing eclectic stuff. You like doing what you do, but I mean, there's got to be some inspiration there, because it is just such amazing music.
Yeah, I'm one of those fortunate people who I am inspired a lot of the time, and when I'm not inspired, I'm fine with not being inspired. So what inspires me is different parts of life. It's love, it's nature, it's my own personal growth, it's good food. I'm a foodie. Um, I I feel fortunate in that I can follow my muse and I can express it creatively. And when I'm in my creative flow, it's full on, it's intense. And when I'm not, I'm enjoying life.
And that enjoyment of life again is what inspires. But you've done TV and film scores as well. And do you find that sometimes a little constraining, or do you enjoy the experience of making something like a TV show work, as they so often demand the music to make that sort of thing happen?
I do enjoy it most of the time. I have run into a few situations, to be honest, where I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. You know, it's like I just could not feel what they were trying to pull out of me to make their footage have a certain message. But most of the time I can lock in and do pretty well. I try to do projects that I really am excited about, and you know what I mean? I don't just sell myself out commercially unless I feel some sort of connection with what I'm doing.
But to be a name in that area as well, though, in addition to the music that you release in your own right, and when you've worked with others too, I mean, it's unusual to have somebody who is so well-rounded. And I'm not just picking you up here because I'm talking to you, but it must be weird being you.
It must be weird being me. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I do feel kind of unusual, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'll admit and say that I'm an introvert and I tend to be a loner. But that's the way I've been my whole life. So I kind of don't think that that's necessarily unusual. I've gotten used to it. But that's also why I think I throw myself so much into my art and my creativity, because it is where I find myself feeling the most comfortable and at home.
And with, I'd say, Hope of Spring, we've talked a little bit about the fact it's again another album that reflects all sorts of ideas that you've been having. And how does it work for you when you're taking an album out to your fan base? Because do you get the opportunity to gig under non-COVID circumstances the way you would like to?
Under non-COVID circumstances, yes, I do gig quite often. Even during COVID, I've done a lot of online stuff and a lot of interactive stuff. I've done like Zoom concerts and retreats, and of course, Facebook Live concerts, and I've even had some small home concerts. I love audience interaction. I really feed off of having someone sitting close to me, even under my piano as I'm playing. I just love that. I really like the intimacy of it. And yes, you heard me right. I said under my piano.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a really big event, and there's no seats for anybody, so that's okay. I'm not probably going to dwell too much on that one. But do you enjoy sneaking up to pianos in shopping malls as well, though, and really catching people out with this fella who just wandering? You're on a day off. You're just dressed as you rather than dressed up for the show. And did you like to sneak in and suddenly play in the middle of a mall?
I've thought about doing that, and these days they have airports with a lot of pianos in them, but to be honest with you, I've never done it. I'm actually too shy.
Mm-hmm.
If I can go to a concert where I know that people are already there because they already like me, and then I'm totally confident and really enjoying myself. But to be in a random shopping mall or airport terminal, I haven't done it. But maybe you're right. Maybe I should run out there tomorrow and just do like a flash performance somewhere.
Go in disguise. I want to see you going viral online. But I mean, your work though is so well received. I mean, when it comes to performances as well, though, I mean, you're used to writing for the likes of on and off Broadway shows too. So it's almost just a bit of an extension from that.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff just kind of happened to me. It was one of those things where I got a phone call one day and they said, oh, we're working with this play and it's called Burn This, and it's written by Lanford Wilson and directed by Marshall Mason and starring John Malkovich. And at the time I didn't know who any of those people were. I didn't know that Lanford Wilson was a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright. I didn't know that this was going to be a Broadway show. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine, yeah, sure, let's do that. And I told my partner at the time, oh, I just got some phone call about some play, and then that began a 12-year period of doing a Broadway or an off-Broadway show every year, one a year. And, you know, of course I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, but they say like, well, can you do this and this? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can do that. You know, but in fact, I'm scared to death, and I'm going like, oh, am I over my head? You know, but that's how I've done it. I just say, yeah, if someone asks me to do something, I'm gonna try my best to do it, even if I don't have any idea what I'm doing.
And the results are reaping rewards. So that I think keep going at that. So I completely appreciate the shyness and introvert, because I think in some ways that helps creativity. And when we find a lot of people, I mean, at your level, again, not sucking up to you, but at your level up there, that really don't necessarily get off on the stage show side of it. They want to make sure that the show's right, but not necessarily to be under that spotlight directly themselves in the same way.
Yeah, I've had to get used to the spotlight. I actually prefer not to be in the spotlight. I you know, when I do concerts, even I ask them, I said, can you like lose the spotlight and just give me some warm, you know, reds and blues so people can see that I'm on stage, but don't light it up so much, because I really want to blend in with the atmosphere, you know.
Yeah, it's about you and some friends who happen to have come to a bit of a dinner party to sit on, under, or around a piano.
Yeah, I like him under the piano.
Well, I mean, the new album is one that is out there and is going to be wowing your fans. So don't say old and new, but certainly your fans of many years, and those who just discovered you. And if people were to try and discover you now, what's the best way of doing it? How should they approach your back catalogue of 70 albums before then getting into the TV shows, the stage shows, and then onto the current work? What would your path through be?
Well, I always love my most current work the most, and you know, so I would say, you know, go check out my Rapture album, and the album before that was Wings, and you know, the album before that was Dancing on Water. And go to my website, or Google me, or go to Spotify, Amazon. I mean, I'm not hard to find. My website is peterkater.com. So
simple as that. Check it out, Peter Kater with a K, and you can enjoy the music, pick up the new work. So we're going to listen to Hope of Spring now, I think, aren't we?
Yeah.
Unless there's something else you want us to play.
Well, I like that song a lot.
Well, Peter Kater, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. Looking forward to more work, and I'm watching out for that clip on YouTube of you playing piano right in the middle of your local shopping mall. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that for you tomorrow. Thank you, Jason.
We all love a roller coaster. It probably stems from being swung around by our ankles when we were kids, because kids absolutely adore anything which changes the way gravity works on us. And roller coasters are an absolute staple for our thrill-seeking lives. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Shelby Honey. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Well, good to talk to you. So tell me a bit more about roller coasters and you, because you are very, very serious about giving some people some fantastic thrill rides on a roller coaster.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, here at Universal Creative, we've got this wonderful team who is bringing different thrills all around the world to our different resorts, whether that be a thrill coaster, whether it be a fantastic other type of attraction, an amazing show, parade. We're working on it day in, day out here. But my team, we worked very closely on Jurassic World Velocicoaster to make sure we were checking the ultimate boxes for all those thrill seekers. And again, the 68% of people who want that high level of thrill, want the fun of a coaster. And we're working on that every day, and opening today, Jurassic World Velocicoaster.
See, I do love a good roller coaster ride. I've been on some interesting ones. I've been to Universal Studios in Singapore and had a fantastic time on the air canopy one over there, which is again was Jurassic Park related in that case. But I mean, they are some brilliant rides, some brilliant shows, and it is all about that thrill that we get, isn't it? And it's something that you can't repeat in real life. It has to be done in the safe, controlled way, yet still scary and fun when it comes down to flying on a roller coaster.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think for us in particular on Jurassic World Velocicoaster, again, we were looking at the fact that we know people love coasters and we know people love thrill. And we really did that with this one. We've got 50-mile-per-hour launch, a 70-mile-per-hour launch. The 70-mile-per-hour launch goes directly into a 155-foot tall top hat, 80-degree drop. We've got 4 signature inversions, but what's really interesting about this attraction in particular is that we've got 12 moments of airtime. So that's total weightlessness, your butt's out of your seat. Oh, and did I mention it's just a little lap bar? So lots of really exciting and thrilling aspects of this attraction.
Well, it sounds absolutely amazing. And Orlando plays host to this. And so you've got sites all around the world. So I've been lucky enough to go to the one in Singapore, but it must be fantastic having so many different people all around the world enjoying these brilliant rides, and confidence is going to start to build up post COVID, and people will be traveling out there in the not too distant future. So now it's time to start thinking about booking.
Oh no, absolutely. And what's been so fun, I mean, interesting about the last year is we had it felt like all eyes on us because we were going through construction and a lot of people were tuning in, checking Twitter just to see the progress, just to see some momentum, something happening. And we're all going to need a little bit of an excuse to scream. So we are happy to be that for you.
It sounds like some really good fun. And when you are testing these things, I mean, do you guys get to sort of work out where you want the G's to be as people going weightless and feeling the force? Is it something that's really calculated? Have you got a cunning way of doing that?
Oh yeah, so we've got again a vast amount of in-house coaster enthusiasts, coaster experts, people who are testing coasters truly all the time, seeing what's the latest, greatest. And our coaster designer, Keith McVean, knew the choreography of this attraction. He knew all those amazing airtime moments. He knew all the forces he wanted guests to feel. And then it was just about putting the pieces together and making sure that we could deliver on all of that. And again, this entire coaster is elevated by the fact that you are being shot out into the raptor paddock. So all of these things had to balance really beautifully to create this new, entirely unheard of attraction.
Yeah, I say, and following on from so many great films and shows that you see when you go to these parks. I mean, this may be the latest, but there are so many other jewels in the crown.
Oh no, absolutely. And again, even just here at Universal Orlando Resort, like the Bourne Stuntacular is exceptional. Hagrid's just opened recently, Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure, as well as again all of the wonderful attractions we have. So it is a great time to visit. And again, if 155 feet tall seems like a tall order for you, there are still plenty of wonderful ways to enjoy Universal.
Yeah, I mean, you can enjoy the lazy river and travel at 20 miles an hour.
Yes, that's very true.
So there's an awful lot going on. And as we're saying, as things will start to return to normal over the coming months into 2022, now it's time to think about booking that break and thinking about Orlando as a destination.
No, absolutely. And if you want to learn more, universalorlando.co.uk. But yeah, we're excited to welcome everyone back, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, it's not too far off, and say it sounds like a fantastic destination. Having experienced the universal family of theme parks, I know that it's an absolutely brilliant way of enjoying yourself, seeing some great rides, and also sharing some brilliant characters with the family as well. Have you got any favourite characters there? I mean, obviously you're enjoying Jurassic World, but have you got any minions knocking around?
Oh goodness, we've got a whole cavalcade. We've got the minions. We've got, of course, my favorite is always going to be Blue. Even again, outside of Jurassic World Velocicoaster, we have Raptor Encounter where you can come face to face with Blue. That is one of my favorite attractions. Also one of my favorite attractions to watch because, man, she can freak some people out. She's quite a presence. But no, it's nonstop.
That sounds absolutely great. Give us that web address again so we can find out more information.
Yes, of course. That is universalorlando.co.uk.
Shelby, thank you for joining us, and I'll let you get back to the Raptors. Okay.
Thank you.
With the G7 summit taking place in Cornwall, an opportunity has been taken to highlight the amount of e-waste we have in the UK, particularly as so few people realise what e-waste is. With us all having maybe 3, 4, 5 or even more devices these days and regularly replacing them, there's a huge amount of waste electronics and the peripherals which can cause a problem. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Konnie Huq. Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Now, I have been massively impressed by this huge sculpture, which has been made out of e-waste. All this ties in with musicMagpie and the work that they're doing to highlight this, as they're a bit of a recycler themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Brits do not realise how much e-waste we get through. In fact, we did a survey and found that 4 in 5 Brits don't even know what e-waste is or that it exists even, essentially. And so we're trying to build awareness and get people to start to recycling all their old tech, all their old wires and cables, all those things knocking about in drawers that you don't even know what they are, these chargers, so that we can reuse it and help save our environment.
Yeah, because I mean, the G7 nations are producing 15.9 million tonnes of e-waste each year. The UK is responsible for 1.6 million of that. And that is a huge amount of things that can be reused, whether it is the copper in the chargers, which just don't get used because you've already got someone else that plugs into the same hole, or down to the actual screens and the products themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a very big island, but yet we're second highest per capita wasters, which is pretty shocking, really. Almost half of Brits do not recycle, resell, or even donate their old tech to charitable organizations. So instead, it's all in drawers, gathering dust, under the staircase, all of those places where they hide away all sort of your old junk and rubbish.
Yeah, because I mean, you're used to recycling yourself, whether it's washing up liquid bottles on Blue Peter or everything else that has probably stemmed from that over the years. I mean, you'd like to reuse stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am all about sort of mend and make do, upcycling, environmental, awareness. I'm pretty sort of, I hesitate to say anti-consumerist, but I won't really buy things unless it's like a real need, because I feel I've got enough stuff. And I think as human beings, we don't realize that actually we don't really need that much to be happy. I think people think their happiness comes through sort of getting more and, buying the next phone and the next phone. And, before you know it, phones, tech, it all becomes disposable like fast fashion. So it's really important to make sure either that you recycle old stuff or reuse it or donate it on to someone that can do that, because we need our living to be sustainable. It needs to be efficient, and whatever we take out from the earth we need to put back in. So it just means that we need to make sure that we use things efficiently and for as long as possible.
Yeah, because I mean, when it comes to the batteries and things, they're a huge drain on the environment producing those, and the amount of water and electricity that's used, creating the circuitry that goes inside these things, and a lot of it is difficult to recycle. So we need to make sure we think carefully about what we're doing with it, and as you say, reusing it, gifting it to a member of the family who doesn't need the latest piece of tech. That can work really well.
Yeah, I mean, mean, I think lots of people just don't think about it, because you hear so much about sort of single-use plastic, and people are concentrating on reusable bags and, not using drinking straws and all that little stuff. Whereas tech is essentially, big items. So, and, cables and things that people don't believe almost that this could be disposable, because by its very nature it doesn't look disposable. And the thing is because you're storing it away in drawers and not using it, it feels like you're not sort of wasting or disposing of it. But then anything gathering dust in a drawer not being reused and is a waste as well, because you're buying new things to replace it all the time.
Yeah, and so it can go off somewhere. It could go off to help somebody out who needs a device. And when Waste Aid are working through their educational program here, there's a lot to teach us, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be learnt. And I think a lot of people listening now will be quite surprised. And as I mentioned before, lots of people wouldn't even think or know of the existence of eWaste, or even understand sort of what that means. For the Mount Recycle More sculpture, 12 tons of eWaste was used. That's 20,000 pieces of tech, and that's just to make sure one piece of artwork that we sourced all this stuff. But that's just this kind of tiny small amount of what we have hiding away in cupboards and houses and homes up and down the country.
Yeah, and if you haven't already seen Joe Rush's Mount Recycle More, it is it's an awesome piece of work. It's
so awesome. I'm like, because obviously it's for this G7 summit and it's going to come down, but I want to start a campaign to have it up there permanently. It's so phenomenal, and he's really captured as well the sort of caricatured looks of all those world leaders. It really is really impressive. Anyone that hasn't seen it, I implore you to Google now Mount Recycle More, and you can see pictures of the construction on Sandy Acres Beach, and hopefully these leaders will take notes and do something about all of this terrible e-waste.
And it's an important message to get across, and it's the rare earth metals and the gold and things in there which can even make this worthwhile recycling financially as well as environmentally.
Absolutely. And with this initiative by musicMagpie, every piece of tech that's donated will raise money, much needed funds that will go to the cause. And it's just so important that we don't turn into a society where we just don't give a thought to any sort of purchases we make or any decisions from a consumer perspective, because we have a responsibility to sort of keep renewing our earth for future generations.
With people admitting to having up to 11 unused devices, that's people changing the phones sometimes once a year, every 2 years. It will quickly add up, and it's not just your phone, it's the tablet, it's the computer, the laptop, could even be TVs, big devices like that. And once they stop working, it's time to start the new life for them.
Absolutely. I mean, we live in a sort of upgrade culture. So, lots of people, for instance, on a phone contract, and then that comes to an end, and it's just a natural thing to them to get the next phone. It's a second, it's a sort of thought that you don't think about twice, because that's just the status quo. And if you think, how many people have a mobile phone, and, it's kids now from quite young, the majority of the population have a mobile phone now. It's the norm. And, so all of these things are relatively new progressions in society, because if you think about it, actually, climate destruction in general, it wasn't that long ago that we didn't even have fossil fuels and cars that use petrol and, plastics, because humans have been around for millions and millions and millions of years. But as a society now, every advance leads to so many more. And loads of those are tech advances. So the sort of rate of progress is almost exponential now, which means that this is only going to get worse. And the UN forecasts that the problem will be doubling, so the amount of tech we're wasting now is only going to get more and more and more. So we really need to do something about it.
With £16.5 billion worth of tech, that's an awful lot of good that could be done if that money is released.
Exactly, and tech is only advancing. I remember growing up and thinking, I live in such modern times, I'm so lucky. How much more modern can things get than this? And, we didn't have iPads back then. We had landlines, and, there were only 3 channels on the TV, a 4th one came along, you know, and that's just in my lifetime. The amount of progress. I watch my kids now and they're swiping away at screens and they know how to connect this and that to the internet. And I feel like my mum, when my mum used to say to me, Connie, can you set the video recorder? And I'd be like, Mum, you can't even set a video recorder. And now I am her, and my kids can do all this stuff. And I'm like, darling, can you do this for me? Because I'm so, you know, not tech savvy. But it is moving so quickly, and we need to move with it to make sure we solve the problems that are being generated by this fast rate of progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see things like TVs for about 350 quid for a 60-inch screen, and it almost feels disposable at that price. It's not even worth paying someone to repair it if something goes wrong. So
that's it.
Yeah, when something goes wrong, we've got to do something with it and make sure we recycle. If it's working, musicMagpie can actually give you some cash for it too.
Absolutely. You know, I learned of this with quite a good stat, but if we took all the cables and wires that people are just hoarding that are disused in people's homes, we'd be able to more than circumnavigate the circumference of the earth. So, I mean, that's just in the UK alone. So, you know,
I think I've got that in a drawer somewhere, actually.
Yeah,
so
that's in your house alone. Exactly.
I do recycle. I sell all my tech on, so I'm a good boy when it comes to that. I like to get something back for these things, and if you are going to upgrade, it is always worthwhile making sure that these items do get reused. Where can we go for more information about the whole campaign?
So for more information, musicmagpie.co.uk/Mount Recycle More.
So check out that. You can see the artwork. You can also find out how they're making donations too, with items that are returned to them. And you can also find out about Waste Aid and their work too from the links on the website. But for now, I think Chief Recycler Konnie Huq, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back next week. I'll see you soon. For now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.